Nation. Welcome back, guys. Coming up, find out what rap song came in at #1 on Billboard's list of top-selling hip-hop tracks of all time. And of course, Umrit is back. He'll share his newest picks in his music report. But first, guys, we have a first listen from Frank Ocean and Diplo. Here's Hero. Take a listen.
And I'm swinging far.
All right, guys, I'm loving that song. I'm glad I'm hearing something from Frank Ocean new and Diplo. Of course, we love you over here. All right, guys, he's over. I'm going to take it over right now to Damage. He's got a Billboard list everyone is talking about. What's up,
Yep. Thank you, Sibley. Now, Billboard just released its list of top 100 selling rap songs of the past 25 years. You might be surprised at who came in at the most popular. Joining us to talk about this list and what they have to say about hip-hop today is editor-in-chief of HipHopDX, Justin Hunt. Give it up for Justin, y'all. And from Power 106 here in LA, Mando Fresko. Come on, yeah, show him some love. Now let's take a look at the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Expression by Salt and Pepper. How y'all feel about Salt and Pepper? Y'all like Salt and Pepper, right? All right, at number 4, this is a little recent, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis with Can't Hold Us. At number 3, this is Missy Elliott featuring Nas, Eve, Q-Tip with Hot Boys. At number 2 is, it's a little old school, but I know y'all love this one, 69 Boys with Tootsie Roll, right? I like that song. And coming in at number 1 is this year's Grammy winner for Best Rap Song, Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. Now, let's talk about this. Justin, I'm gonna start with you. Are you surprised by the number 1 song?
Yeah, actually I am. You know, one of the things that I looked at the list and I wasn't sure what I was looking at first. I was like, wait a minute, 25 years of rap history and the song that came out 2 years ago is number 1. The methodology, I think, is where it makes sense. They looked at it based on just the number of songs that peaked at number 1, how long they were there, and adjusted for different changes in the way that they've tracked and charted hip-hop songs. So it's an algorithm. Ultimately, it's an Excel spreadsheet that kicked out Macklemore's number 1.
Mando, what you think?
I mean, very well said, Justin. I think with what Drake said, Drake after the loss, the Grammy loss with Macklemore, he said that Macklemore makes a brand of music that appeals to a bigger audience, a different demo as well than himself, Kanye, and a Jay-Z. So I think, you know, it's not that big of a surprise at that point. I mean, we're like hip-hop heads. We love hip-hop. So, you know, if we see Macklemore, and no diss to Macklemore, Macklemore is an amazing artist. You know, when we see Macklemore and, you know, we don't see a Kanye or a Jay-Z up on the top 10, we're like, wait, what's going on?
Yes. This is top selling of all time, too. Would anything else surprise y'all on that list?
Number 2, Tootsie Roll, 69 Boys. 1994 was number 2. Like 1994 is so early in the arc of Southern hip hop, for example. Like most people don't really think about the South being potentially dominant in the 90s, especially the early 90s. Number 2 top selling is 69 Boys, Tootsie Roll.
Is that? I mean, it's not that surprising though, man. I'm sure, you know. You were, you know, singing along, Cotton Candy, Squeeze Go, let me see that Tootsie to the left. Hey, I'm gonna stop.
Okay, my bad.
Here's another surprise though. The second surprise. 7 out of the 10 are all from the 90s. Macklemore has 2. The only other one is Waka Flocka, No Hands. Everything else is from the 90s except for Macklemore. He's a historical outlier. Okay. Historical outlier.
Waka Flocka, to me though, I think that was the biggest surprise to me. I mean, again, no, I'm not up here dissing people. Flocka. But you know, I just didn't know, you know, Flocka was out there doing it that big. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, the biggest surprise on the list was definitely Waka.
Do you see any evolution in this list? Just looking at the top 10, do you see any evolution in hip-hop just looking at that list? You got 2 of Macklemore on there. Yeah. You said Waka Flocka. You got the Tootsie Roll, the 69 Boys.
Well, the rest of it's a time capsule, right? Everything else is the 90s. Outside of Waka and Macklemore, it is the golden era. So if there is an evolution, it's how drastically the past 3 years or so in music sales can really affect the 25-year arc of everything. Mm-hmm. If it's an evolution, it's what Spotify and being the 14th highest watched YouTube view of all time can do for your historical sales if you're Macklemore or if you're Waka Flocka. That's the thing that I think is striking.
Now, this is the big question I really want to ask. Coming from the Billboard and then, passing the Grammys,
Right.
do you feel like hip-hop needs more than one category? Like, if you look at rock, there's indie rock, there's alternative rock. Do you think that needs to happen for hip-hop? Because some songs aren't as commercial as others.
Definitely. I mean, I think when I look at the list, I mean, it's not a surprise to if you really look at the artists and the songs, because they really touched the most amount of people. Like, they reached a bigger audience. These were huge dance songs in the 90s, and Macklemore Thrift Shop was a huge pop song. And I think, yes, but by what I just said, it pop. I think there should be a subcategory. It's tough or a few subcategories. You can't say hip hop and again, I'm not dissing people up here, but like a Flo Rida, a Macklemore shouldn't be in the same category as a Kendrick Lamar or a Kanye West.
Yeah. Justin, what you think?
I mean, here's the challenge, right? I mean, to us, we all see it. All of us know hip hop. We know all the differences between, the South and the Bay, for example. I don't have trust that the shadowy lever guys at the Grammys have that same understanding.
Yeah.
So whether it is Thrift Shop rapping or it is Waka rapping, it is still rapping. So I don't know how realistic it is to think of them to be able to segment it as easy as they've done with jazz or rock and roll, for example.
Can we do hip hop with a P?
Ooh, that might be a little controversial. Hip hop? You like hip hop?
And hip hop with an H.
I don't like it. I don't like
What about
hip-hop.
contemporary hip hop? What y'all think about that?
It sounds like my
What
grandmother
can we
would
name
say
this
it.
category?
Ratchet. We should have ratchet and regular. Should be ratchet and regular rap. That's it.
We're gonna leave it on that note. Everybody give it up for Justin and Mando
Thank you,
Fresko. Yo, now you heard from the experts. You know what they think. Now I'm gonna go to Simply, because she's standing by with some voices of revolt. Let's get their opinion.
Thanks so much, Damage. All right, guys, everyone is talking about what songs showed up on Billboard's list. Joining me now we're out of order, but we're going to do it like this. Miss City, Andrew.
Hi,
And give
Brody.
me Brody.
No, Brody, yes.
See what it says there? It says Brandon. It's wrong, huh?
Yes, I mean, this one,
All right,
whatever you want.
guys. Brody, were you guys surprised that Thrift Shop, I mean, we're talking about this a lot, Macklemore being on there. It's always an opinion. Is it hip hop? Is it not? Were you guys surprised?
I was surprised for the reason that it beat out so many other artists. I wasn't surprised for the fact that the song is relatable, and it was one of those songs that was just played everywhere. I mean, you couldn't avoid hearing Thrift Shop. Everywhere you go, you'd hear it. You go into the Walmart, you hear Thrift Shop. You go into the thrift shop, you hear Thrift Shop. Thrift shops everywhere. You know what I mean?
That doesn't make it number one for
You don't think so?
25 years of rap music. And then you kind of got to figure out, is it rap? Is it the genre of hip hop? Like, how are we even really classifying this? But I know it has to do with popularity.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think it speaks to just the way social media has changed the music industry. It's speaks to the masses, so that's what it's about right now.
People like pop, and pop doesn't just mean like a bubblegum thing. It's popular music. I think that's what a lot of people need to remember.
Absolutely.
But I think it's still unfair because you do, for a culture that's worked so hard to be classified as rap, hip hop, and these things, you do want to keep that sense of self without being classified under pop. I believe so, being a hip hop kid growing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And especially for, you don't really want to do the race thing, but it is a little, sometimes it's uneasy because you are in categories with Big and,
Yeah, exactly. You have artists that pave the way.
Certainly.
So.
But it's best selling though,
That's
it's not
what it
just
is. We always have to go back to
popular.
what it is.
We forget, I mean, because in my opinion, if it was a popular thing, you'd have songs like Juicy on there, you'd have hits from Tupac on there, but right here, it's the best selling. That's just the songs that.
And not one person buys hip hop.
Exactly. The masses buy it. Everyone buy it. You buy hip hop. I buy hip hop.
I'll buy whatever you sell to me right now. It's great. I'll take it. I love music.
Right.
Damage loves it. I hear him doing his thing over there. And we're going to check in with him. Thank you guys so much. The voices of Revolt, guys. Give it up for them one time. Now we're going to check in with Damage to see what else is coming up on Revolt Live.
Now, thank you, Swibblies. Now, coming up, we're going to check in with the Revolt Nation bus tour, all right? And Andy and friends are in Texas, on their road to South by Southwest. Also, EDM superstars in the building. I'm talking about the Chainsmokers. They're going to join us live later to talk about their upcoming project. You already know you are watching Revolt Live.